What is up, Road Fam? I know it's been a while, but here we are. It's Rens here with the Vanlife Network news, and this is episode 21. Now, as you can see from my document, I was supposed to record this on Sunday, the 28th of December. Obviously, I didn't do that because today it is Wednesday, the 14th of January 2026, but I didn't want to skip this episode because we are gonna go over a 2025 recap. Now, as you can see, we're gonna go over some fun stats that we have done and fun stats about the Vanlife Network or our community, let's say, in 2025. We're going to go over some of the highlights, some of the lessons that we've learned, and what we're going to focus on in 2026. So let's start off with some fun stats. Now, my friend ChatGPT made this image for us, and it is not even accurate anymore. It is very close to accurate, but let's just go over it. At the very bottom here, you actually see the accurate numbers. So, the Vanlife Network was founded on the 20th of March in 2025. But as you can see right here, I officially launched the platform on the 2nd of April, meaning that on the 20th, I actually claimed the URL school.com/vanlife, but on the 2nd of April, I started promoting the community in Facebook groups and on my social media. Now, currently, the Vanlife Network has 61 members, so this is not very correct anymore. Doesn't really matter. We've got 61 members, and the Vanlife community has 172 members as of right now. So that is 171, sorry, and 61 members for the Vanlife Network. Then, in total, inside of the Vanlife Network, we had 862 posts in total. Now, as mentioned, these stats are a little bit outdated, but we had over 850 total posts, which is quite wild. The highest rank that our community ever had on Discovery, meaning in the school discovery, that is where other people can actually find your school. So inside of the hobbies category right here, our highest rank that we have ever had was the 18th rank, which is super crazy high for the small community that we had. And that is a big fat accomplishment. So pat on the back for each and every single one of us. And our most active day had 5,179 activities. Now, this is a ridiculous amount for the amount of members that we had. And so our goal last summer, for me at least, and for the community, was to actually get our community to a top 1% community on school. And we actually achieved that within a very short time frame, to be honest, and especially as such a small community. Now, fun fact, back then we were the smallest community that had a star symbol behind our name, and that was because we turned into a top 1% community. Our most active member was obviously Annika van Helvoort. So, a little applause for Annika. Thank you so much for all your dedication to the Vanlife Network and for providing the summaries from the DCs and so on. Without the Vanlife Network, without you, the Vanlife Network wouldn't be the same. Now let's go over some more niche stats. So as you can see, we obviously do digital campfires, which is our signature thing inside of the community. Basically our virtual meetups. And the first ever DC, fun fact, was on the 4th of April 2025, and it was just me and one other person. And that one other person wasn't even a member. So what I did was I posted something in a Facebook group and I said, hey, I'm hosting a virtual Vanlife meetup. If you want to join, then let me know and I'll send you the link. A few people or a handful of people actually commented on this post or sent me a DM, and one person showed up, which was a good start. That was great. Now, about, I don't know how many months later, 8 months later, 9 months later, we have a total of 71 DCs, and I think it is actually 72 because on the 30th of December we also had our DC. So we had a total of 72 DCs. The amount of hours that we've spent together in the DCs is 316 hours. And honestly, this is actually higher because on the 30th we actually had another call. So that is around 320 hours, with 36 hours being our longest DC. Now, this is absolutely, absolutely bonkers because Zoom has a limit of 30-hour calls, and we actually broke Zoom, meaning Zoom kicked everyone out of the call and closed the call because we had crossed the limit. And the fun thing is, I was on a trip to Belfast, to Ireland, and Larissa called me in panic saying, Rens, can you please reopen the call because somehow Zoom kicked us out and we weren't finished yet. Now, on this call, the reason why it was so long was because Annika was on a gig or a job where she was bringing dogs to the UK and back. And Lawrence decided it was a great idea to actually give her company for the full time of her driving until she was back in Spain. Now, then we had 20 episodes of the Vanlife Network news. Honestly, these episodes were super fun to record. However, at some point, it kind of became a hassle for me because I got so busy doing other things and the community got less and less active. So we had way less than 5,000 activities. And so it wasn't really worth my time anymore to record these weekly episodes because I just didn't have a lot to talk about. Now, hopefully this year that is gonna change again because I do love recording these videos. But for now, we had 20 episodes, and this is actually episode number 21. Then regarding the meetups, we organized 2 official meetups. Both of them were in Spain. So one of them was near Banyoles, which was one of the, or if not the highlight for me of this year, of the last year, of the Vanlife Network. This meetup was insane. We had this beautiful location, and the after movie, by the way, is still in production. It is on hold for now, but I will at some point finish creating it because it was legendary, and I've got a ton of footage from this meetup. But we had this beautiful location at a castle-like building where there was, let's say, it was a community of itself where people were kind of, well, growing their own food, growing their own veggies. There was a fireplace, there was an outdoor kitchen, there were showers and toilets, of course, which for us Vanlifers is very luxurious. And so this was our very first meetup, which made it extra special. Now, outside of our official meetups, we had member meetups, and we had over 60 member meetups, meaning over 60 times people from the community met each other without it being official. So outside of these 2 official meetups, over 60 times people actually decided to use the community, to use the DCs, to use the map feature to meet each other. This is a huge, huge number because we only have a community of 60 members. So we have had so many people actually, hanging out together, and that is actually the whole purpose of this community. And then we have another little category for our highlights, and that is, as a community, we made 3 video songs or 3 music videos. This was a hilarious thing that happened inside of the community. I think Kimmy was actually the one who started this because back then I uploaded a video which was called Waking Up in the Vineyards of France or Champagne or whatever it was called. And Kimmy decided to create a parody video. And from there, we kind of started a reaction. It kind of trickled a chain reaction. So I made my video, then she made her parody video, then she made another one, and then Larissa and I made a rap video, and then she made another music video with someone. It was wild. It was super fun. And I will actually show you a little bit of both of these videos. And then one more statistic is our TVLN merch. So one of the crazy things is that we actually launched our own merch. It's crazy because launching merch really isn't easy. I have never really bought merch in my whole life before joining school. The first merch that I ever bought was school merch, which I'm not wearing, but I bought school merch because it was a community or a place or a culture that I wanted to be a part of, and that I wanted to show to the outside world that I am part of school or I am a schooler. And because we had this crazy tight culture inside of the Vanlife network, we were like, we should create wearables for our members to wear, because it is just nice to be part of this community. And if people actually buy it, that creates even more belonging. And so we did a limited edition merch drop, and that was a 72-hour merch drop. We had 13 orders with an order value of, I don't know, around $900 or something. We didn't do it for the profit at all, so we kind of broke even on this sale, but we just wanted to provide our members, you guys, with our merch. So that was super, super wild. Now, let's actually listen to parts of our videos. So let's actually start with the Rolling Rappers video that Larissa and I made. It is kind of a classic one. We've got the lyrics right here. So if you want to see it, just type in the Rolling Rappers inside of the community. And let's just play, let's say 30 seconds. Let's go. This one is for you, fam. The Vanlife Network. I'll just skip ahead a little bit.
Later, he's asleep, it's true. Larissa that night, what a strange little show. Dude rocking his stuff out, we don't wanna know. Annika flash drones, filming campsite scenes, frikandel delivery.
You know what I mean.
Daniela riding Europe, microphone and full stealth. No TikTok, no gram, all the roads to herself. Christine got scars on her optimist ride. Every dancer story she wears with pride. Ran sticking snailer, exhaust on the street. Founder of the crew, still he's slowest on the street.
Okay, now fun fact around this video is that Larissa and I, we really didn't know each other for very long. So we had met one time before actually recording this, and this video was, the lyrics of the video was written when we just came out. I think it was a 4-hour traffic jam, or maybe even longer. It was ridiculous, and I somehow had this idea we should create a TVLN song, and that turned out to become a TVLN rap song. And then once the lyrics was written, we decided to turn it into a ridiculous music video. So that was definitely something very special. Then we had another one made by Kim and her friend Camille, and we're just gonna play a little bit of it because it was hilarious.
So what?
And let's just skip to the
Campfire. It's on fire. EcoFlow. It's on fire. EcoFlow. Fireball. Love it.
Hey, that is a kind of surprise.
Meet me at the parking lot.
Okay.
Meet me in the forest plot. Meet me at the Lidl shop.
Daddy.
Love you, Kim.
Meet me where the cops not forget about your name.
Alright, so this was another crazy one of our videos that happened in 2025. If you want to see the full one, just find this in the community. It was super wild. And then we had one more song that we've created as a community, and this is actually made by a professional musician, and that is Carol, and she recently made this post, Beautifully Strange final mix. And this song was inspired by our first meetup. I don't know what this video is. Let me check. Okay, this was just the moment that she actually wrote the song, where she was working at it. And this was the meetup place where everybody was chilling and meeting up for the very first time, or the very first official meetup. She built her own little studio inside of her van, which is epic. And this is part of the song.
here's to us, the beautifully strange. The world can change, but we will stay free and fearless, come what may. The stars don't shine the same each day, but we belong in our own way. So here's to us, the beautifully strange. Here's to us, the beautifully brave.
Beautiful. So if you want to hear this, find Carol's post. You can just search her in the search bar or type in Beautifully Strange and you will find the full song. Thank you so much, Carol, for creating this. This is absolutely epic. All right, then some highlights of the year. We already covered a bunch of them, but let's just go over them. So the first thing was the launch of the Vanlife network. Now, this was kind of funny because I started off with an empty community, and of course, the biggest challenge is to go from 0 to 3 members, or to go from just yourself to a living community. So that was a highlight of the year. One of the highlights for the Vanlife network was, or for me personally, was when I actually had the open mic session at Betoeterd, which is a Vanlife festival in the Netherlands. And the owner invited me to go to talk at the open mic. And there I actually met Kim. Apparently Tim was there as well, but I didn't have the chance to meet him there. Lucien was there, and I think Jelmer and Aleida were there as well, and others. So that was beautiful. Then, I already talked about this, the Rolling Rappers. That was definitely something crazy for me. I had never written a rap song, I had never rapped before, and I never recorded a music video either. So that was way outside of my comfort zone, doing that with someone I had just met like a few months ago or a few weeks ago. That was crazy. But definitely a highlight of the community. Then, as mentioned before, the launch of our own merch. Now, this for me is kind of, I don't know if it's a dream come true, but it is very cool to be able to wear something I'm proud of wearing. And yeah, being the creator of this thing makes it even more special. So once again, thanks for everyone who bought the merch. There's gonna be more merch this year, but for now, I'm very grateful for every single one of you who has bought the merch, who proudly wears it, and who, yeah, supported us in their way. Then we had the first TVLN meetup. Now, once again, this was a very special one because it was at a beautiful location with beautiful people. We had a campfire almost every night. We shared lots of dinners together. We had pizza night, we had burger night, we had pancake night, we had wraps night, we had I don't know what else night, chili con sin carne probably, or something, pasta, I don't know. It was absolutely beautiful. The after movie will come sooner or later. So yeah, prepare for that one because I'm probably gonna use Carol's song for this video. Then once again, our school became the smallest top 1% community on school amongst all other giants. So this was a big accomplishment for sure, because it is not easy to reach the top 1% on school, because there are thousands and thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of communities, and we belong to the top 30 inside of the hobby category. Then another highlight for me personally, but also for our school, was when I got invited to become a school ambassador. I'm still a school ambassador, and this means that I am creating ads for school, and I actually get paid to create these ads for school, which is crazy. And school as a platform is just world changing, as it says right here. This thing is gonna be so big, we cannot imagine it yet. This is gonna be bigger than social media, or it is gonna be a very solid competitor for Facebook, for Instagram, for YouTube, and so on. And that is because we create communities. In today's day and age, a lot of businesses are threatened, let's say, by AI and the AI revolution or the digital revolution. But human connection, as we have created here inside of the Vanlife network, will not be threatened by AI because AI cannot replace human connection. And then the last one was the TVLN song, which is called "Beautifully Strange" by Carol Green. Thank you so much once again for for creating this. It is an absolute banger song, and yeah, I will use your music video. Your music for our after movie, where you got inspired to create this song. Then, next thing, I've got some lessons that I want to share with you about our first year of the Vanlife network. And it's not even a full year because, as you've seen, we launched on the 2nd of April. So it is, let's say, the first 8 months of the Vanlife network. Now, first thing about community, building a road family is slower than building an audience and infinitely more meaningful. So when I launched the Vanlife network, I was like, this is gonna be booming. We're gonna grow like crazy, and everybody wants to hop on, and blah blah blah. In reality, once you charge more than $0, it is kind of tricky to get people or to convince people to actually join. So every single one of you who's listening to this, who has joined the platform, thank you so much for believing and trusting in the Vanlife network. We've had a crazy, crazy founding year, and this year is going to be about growth, but more on that on the 2026 focus. So the second thing is TVLN isn't for everyone, and that's exactly why it works. Now, one great example is that I made a post about Reddit, on Reddit, I should say, and I got so much backlash. The post that I wrote was about how I now meet Vanlifers and how that is different from way back when there was like two vans parked next to each other, and I was hesitant to actually go to the people, and I felt awkward and blah blah blah, and in the end I never really met anyone. And now, of course, we have our DCs, and every single one of you that I've met in real life wasn't awkward at all because we spent so much time already, and we kind of became online friends. And I got so much backlash on these posts. And also, we have had members coming into the Vanlife network who quickly dropped out again because it wasn't for them, it was too much, or they didn't feel at home, and that is fine. It isn't for everyone. The Vanlife network is for people who look for connection, who are open for connection, who want to support the world, who want to support each other, who are, I don't know, who need or who want to feel belonging. And that is exactly why the Vanlife network works so well, because it automatically filters out the people who don't belong here, and it will attract people who do belong here. Then the next thing is attending all DCs, so digital campfires, absolutely isn't necessary. Just knowing they exist creates belonging. Now, as you might know, we do 2 DCs every single week, and normally, or on average, they last about 4 hours, which is crazy long. So if we go back to our fun stats, you can see that within 72 DCs, we've spent 320 hours on Zoom meeting and chatting with each other. This is more time than I spend with my family or any other of my friends. So obviously we become a family. This is it's just the way it is. And so I have been attending almost all of the DCs, if not all of them. Maybe one I skipped. But it is not at all about attending every single one of them. It is about knowing that they're there. So whenever you feel lonely, or whenever you want to hang out with your friends, or whenever you feel disconnected and you want connection, or you want to hang out with people who do understand you and your lifestyle, the DCs and your road family are there. Then, about culture, you can't force culture. You can only protect the space where it emerges. And this is a very cool one because at the very beginning, I tried to create a culture, but all the inside jokes and all of the other things, that just happened. And by protecting this safe space, people started to bloom and people started to open up and become themselves and actually become connected and actually, I don't know, become family. So a culture isn't something that you can force, but it will emerge once you create or provide a space for people where they can become themselves and where they do in fact belong. The next one is solid foundations beat quick growth so we can build something meaningful. As mentioned, when I launched the Vanlife network, I was like, I want to grow this thing as quickly as possible to hundreds of members because the whole world should know about this and blah, 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 blah. But I'm so happy and fortunate that that didn't happen in the end because now we had the time to actually build friendships and lasting relationships and build a foundation that once we start growing like crazy, we know what to expect and we have actually experienced the Vanlife network in the early days. The friendships that we have made in 2025 are invaluable. It's crazy. Before the Vanlife network, I was kind of roaming solo, and now it is very hard for me to be alone and to be by myself just because there are so many fun people to hang out with. And so, yeah, solid foundation just beat quick growth. The next one is the real success metric is invisible, and that is true friendships, love, and support. And these things, you cannot measure them. There's no metric for them. Like, we can track our activities, we can track our members, we can track the length of our DCs, we can track the number of DCs. But the real success for this community is the true friendships and the love and the support that we have for each other as a community, and that is wild. Then about the momentum. Momentum comes from consistency, not from launches. So the way we got to where we are currently at came from consistency. Now, this means showing up every single week at the same time for DCs and coffee chats. So every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, the DC starts, and at Friday morning at 10 a.m. for me, my time zone, the coffee chat starts. And just knowing that these things are there every single week creates consistency, creates momentum, creates trust from members. And yeah, this is just the way we have managed, or we got to connect as a community, because we know then this thing happens and then this thing happens. Their community is there, we can post, we have each other. And if I want to chat to someone, I know I have to go online at Tuesday at 8 p.m. And you will find your friends. And the last one is, in real life meetups are where trust turns into memory. Once again, a big fat shout out to our very first meetup. It was legendary, and we will have many more of these legendary meetups in the future. It was an amazing kickoff, and I'm grateful for every one of you who was there. But in real life meetups is where trust turns into memories. Also, this meetup right now, it is not even a meetup anymore, but I'm still with Annika, and Larissa is in town in her apartment. But we had this crazy long meetup. I planned it being 4 days, and in the end it was way over 2 weeks. It is crazy because suddenly there is a space for people to belong, where they belong, where we can join, where we can share dinner, where we can do fun stuff together. We had dream catcher workshops. What are we even talking about? We shared burgers, we made oliebollen, we went into a bar, we went for coffee as a crew 1,000 times. We went into the ocean for a New Year's dive and so on. So in real life meetups is where it's at, and that is also one focus point for us in 2026. Now, then last but not least, the 2026 focus. We're already a half an hour in, so I'm gonna be short and quick about this. But there's only 2 focus points that are most important for me and the Vanlife Network this year. Number 1, grow the community while protecting the culture. So our growth strategy is going to be very, very simple, and it's actually, I can add to this, but the first thing that is going to happen is we're going to be more active on social media. I have a YouTube channel which I haven't used in a very long time, so I'm gonna make a comeback to YouTube. And also, we're gonna use the Vanlife Network Instagram page. Then we want to experiment with ads because now we have a small budget to actually experiment with. I would love to try to attract the right people through Facebook ads just because we then can reach more people without putting in much effort. So there's less effort, we just pay the money to get eyeballs. Another thing that I want to focus on is the TVLN podcast. And I have had this idea for almost a year now, and I haven't implemented it, but it is something that is going to launch this year because I'm very passionate about meeting more fan lifers that have an interesting story, that have a cool business, that are traveling with 17 dogs and 18 cats. I don't know. I just want to meet more interesting people and bring them into the network and have a chat with them. Maybe give ourselves a chance to meet them and ask questions and so on. And then there's one more thing, and that is a very, very big thing that I'm going to cover or talk more about in the next episode. But that is the Vanlife network is going to be free. Meaning we're gonna turn this community into a free community where everybody can join our community, because right now we have the Vanlife network and the Vanlife community, and this kind of splits our focus into 50-50, meaning both communities are less active. Instead of focusing on one community, the reason why we did that, well, it was a very good reason, which I'll actually talk about in the next video, just so let it be for now. It is going to be free. The DCs are going to be paid. Other features are going to be paid, but the community itself is going to be free. And that is going to force growth for 2026. And it's going to make sure that we can actually have more impact on the world and that we can actually turn this community into a movement. We can grow our network and we can make more friends who understand us and who are like-minded. And then the second thing we're going to focus on, and then I'm going to wrap it up, is we're going to make it better. So once again, we're going to increase the focus. We're going to expand the Vanlife Network team. We're going to do more fun challenges, and we're going to organize more meaningful IRL meetups. And that was it for this 2025 recap of the Vanlife Network. I will actually post this picture so you can have a look at it. Once again, thank you so much, every single one of you who has been part of this journey. It is absolutely wild. It is like a dream come true. It is so much fun to work on this project alone, but also together with you guys. 2026 is going to be crazy. It's going to be huge, and I'm super grateful you're part of this. This was Rens with the Vanlife Network news of not Sunday, the 28th of December. It is the 14th of January. Catch you very, very soon. Love you guys.